Welcome back to Asia Ghosts Club. Tonight, we're diving into a chilling real estate story. Whether you're buying, renting, or selling a house, you'll probably work with a real estate agent at some point. But have you ever wondered what eerie encounters they might have during those late-night house tours? This is a true story from a real estate agent who came face to face with something beyond explanation. And tonight, I'll be telling it in the first person. This happened back in 1995, almost 30 years ago. I was a seasoned real estate agent, and honestly, I didn't believe in ghosts or the supernatural. But after what happened that night, I started questioning everything. We had a colleague named Sarah. One day, she unknowingly showed a house that had been abandoned for years. What she didn't know was that the property had a dark history. A tragic death had taken place inside. The previous owner had taken his own life on the staircase landing between the first and second floors. The worst part, the rope he used was still there. Sarah had no idea, and during the tour, she untied that rope with her bare hands. That's when everything changed. Later that evening, Sarah returned to the office. She was sitting at her desk, her head down, completely silent. Our manager walked over, tapped her shoulder and said, "Hey, it's time for the meeting. You okay?" At that moment, Sarah jerked upright, flailing her arms wildly, letting out guttural, inhuman sounds. It wasn't her voice. It wasn't even a language we could understand. Panic spread across the office. Several of us rushed in to help, but something was terribly wrong. 4 grown men couldn't hold down a woman barely 5 feet tall. She was thrashing violently, her face twisted in pure rage, her eyes empty. That night, a few colleagues drove her home. When they arrived, Sarah's mother was already waiting outside. The moment she saw Sarah, she asked, "Who are you? Why are you possessing my daughter?" Sarah's family was deeply religious. Her mother knew instantly that this wasn't just a breakdown. Something else was inside her. They immediately took her to a temple, hoping for help. But the moment Sarah stepped inside, she started screaming, throwing objects, and laughing hysterically. The temple priests tried to calm her with holy water, but nothing worked. Whatever had taken hold of her refused to leave. Someone whispered, "Spirits that die by hanging, they never let go." Sarah had untied the rope. She had set it free. For the next few weeks, Sarah stayed at the temple. Her mother visited her every day, praying for her recovery. Slowly, she seemed to return to normal. She spoke again. She smiled again. Her mother was overjoyed and finally brought her home. But that same night, While she was alone in her room, Sarah took her own life. She had hanged herself. After her passing, her family found her journal. The last few pages were filled with a single sentence, written over and over. Untie the rope and you belong to it. Years have passed, but I still get chills when I think about that night. We later discovered that the original owner, who had died, was a man. But why did he choose Sarah? Today, the house has been rented out to a Vietnamese tenant, and every time I pass by, I feel a strange, unshakable unease. Do you believe in haunted houses? Or do you think this was just a psychological episode? Let me know in the comments.